meteorologist Dale Nelson, sports director Alan Harwell. This is Chris 6 News at 6.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us on this Thanksgiving Eve. Okay, so question for you. Have you checked your list for tomorrow's big Thanksgiving Day feast?
Well, if you're short on gravy or you forgot the dinner rolls, not to worry because grocery stores are still open. But as you can imagine, they are really packed this evening on this Thanksgiving Eve. Our Ashley Portillo live from the HEB Plus on Saratoga Boulevard. And if yours passed or any indication, Ashley, it's got to be packed about right now.
Well, Lee, the lines actually aren't too bad right now. They are moving at a steady pace. Some people having to buy those items that they forgot, but some people are having to buy everything for their Thanksgiving meal, from the turkey to the pies. But whatever it is that you need, HEB Plus is open and ready for customers. The parking lot is full.
HEB Plus is busy, very busy. So I try to come early and see if I could escape from this, but no.
The checkout lines are long, and grocery carts are filling up with
some rolls, corn, green beans, the pan for the turkey, some ham.
And HEB is very packed right now because many families are here picking up their last-minute items for their Thanksgiving dinner, including their rolls, their canned goods, and of course, you can't forget the stuffing.
I'm having family over, so I said, well, what do they like? Meringue pie, lemon pie, pumpkin pie. So I'm pieing around.
Whether it's your first trip to the grocery store this week or your second.
Oh my goodness, no, the fourth. But this is going to be it.
Despite the large crowds, there's one thing in plentiful supply. People in the holiday spirits with a healthy appetite. What is the best side dish on your Thanksgiving table?
I would say the pecan pie.
Favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Pecan pie.
I like stuffing. And then turkey.
But the most important ingredient for all, their loved ones.
Just enjoying the time with the family.
I just want to wish everyone that is watching Channel 6, a happy Thanksgiving.
And for those very last-minute shoppers, not to worry, HEB will be open tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. All of the stores close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Lee.
All right, side note here, the Walmart stores will all be open tomorrow. The only day they're closed is Christmas. And if you're one of those folks who really like to avoid all those big crowds, maybe you've heard about HEB Curbside.
Yeah, it's a way to you can get your groceries without having to go inside the store. You just order online, select your groceries, and schedule a time to pick them up. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, but HEB says that the cutoff time to order groceries was 6 p.m. today, and the service will not operate tomorrow.
Hi, everybody. Let's take a look at what's happening with our weather forecast for the area and the state. It's only in the 30s up in the Panhandle right now, 50s in Central Texas, 67 here, and we're near the high of the day with 49 up in Dallas. Houston, not bad, at 64. Take a look at the satellite and radar. The main emphasis of this moisture moving out of Mexico is into North Texas and not Central, East, or South Texas here in the coastal bend. We do have our front that's beginning to back up. This is light rain and drizzle that's headed our way, and it's going to get sloppy here overnight as we will see light rain in the region. Again, cloudy skies right now, pretty quiet if you have evening plans outdoors. Here is the light rain approaching the coast, and it'll be here in the middle of the night through tomorrow morning. Right now, temperatures in the 60s across the region, including 64 in Orange Grove, 67 here in Corpus Christi, and the winds, they're breezy along the coast but calming down elsewhere. And the Thanksgiving Day forecast, 61 with drizzle or light rain in the morning, then cloudy and 67 at noon, and 68 cloudy and breezy at 5 p.m. And a mild day. In a few minutes, I'll have your complete forecast for you right here.
It's a new development in the controversy over the Refugio High School fight song.
Now, the song is Dixie, and during a stormy meeting earlier this week, the school board voted to keep it. Now, the district has issued a statement about that decision. In the statement, the district says it recognizes the song holds a different meaning for some. The The district says for them, it is simply a source of school pride and unity. The Refugio Bobcats play Friday in San Antonio in the 2A Division I playoffs. Now, there has been a call for members of the team to boycott the game. And the district says it plans to consult with stakeholders as well as students in the future regarding the use of Dixie as the fight song. But in the meantime, the district asked the community to support the team and not let what they call negative discourse on social media serve as a distraction.
Well, in other news, the search for a missing Rockport man ended on a sad note this morning. A body believed to be that of Billy Whitefield found around 9 a.m. in a navigation channel over in Cove Harbor. Whitefield was reported missing last Sunday. The body found this morning is believed to be him because of some personal items and the clothing. Investigators believe Whitefield fell in the water accidentally and then drowned. There's been another massive explosion at a chemical plant in Port Neches, Texas, which is over near Beaumont. And you see it right there. That was about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Debris thrown really high up in the sky from that blast. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. An explosion earlier today, this morning actually, injured 3 workers and 5 nearby residents. But again, none of those injuries were life-threatening. Authorities have issued a mandatory evacuation order for everyone within 4 miles of that facility. Well, as we've shown you all this month, there are lots of different issues concerning the city's homeless crisis.
And there are also many solutions, but what is it going to take to turn ideas into action? Find out after the break.
Music on a net pop, and I was like, doot, doot. Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
Yeah, well, you weren't even yawning, so it wasn't bad.
You see them all over the city, from downtown to Flower Bluff.
Chris 6 News is brought to you by NAC Co-op Energy, your not-for-profit electricity source for home and business. Now, Chris 6 News at 6 continues.
Welcome back, everyone. For the last month, we have taken an in-depth look at Corpus Christi's homeless problem and introduced you to some of the city's homeless.
Now, there are problems, of course, and those problems need some solutions. And tonight, we're going to look at how close the city is now to trying to solve some of those problems. Our Greg Chandler joins us with more on that. And Greg, most experts have a hard time answering what the questions, those questions. What are we going to do?
They do, Lee, and that's because the agencies that help the homeless have a hard time getting an accurate picture of the problem scope. And until they get that clearer view, potential solutions will merely be guesswork. You see them all over the city, from downtown to Flower Bluff. Homeless people simply looking for a place to spend the night.
I'm just trying to get a foot up, and trying to get it as shelters that I can.
James Schmidt is part of Corpus Christi's growing homeless population. He's new to this life. James has been homeless just a few weeks. Asking for help is a lesson in humility.
For me, my pride, it's hard for me to ask for help. It's hard for me to stand there and ask, hey, can you give me a quarter for the bus? Or can you spare a cigarette?
When asked how the city could solve its homeless problem, Schmidt echoed what others in the community have said before.
I think that they should have, a long time ago, opened up a place that was big enough to house people to help the homeless.
Over the years, several options have been discussed to do just that.
We've looked at housing solutions, including tiny homes. We've looked at work programs and creative strategies for finding employment for individuals who are homeless.
Dr. Sarah Scott is an associate professor in criminal justice and public administration at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. In the last 2 years, her grad students have worked with the city on the homelessness issue. She believes the city needs more information before it can find a solution.
The first step in that is getting an accurate count of how many homeless people we have in Corpus Christi, and then beyond that, finding out what their needs are.
One day every January, the city sends out volunteers to talk to as many homeless people as they can. It's called the point in time count, and it can be misleading.
We know that we're vastly undercounting the homeless population in Corpus Christi.
The point in time count generally accounts for a third of the city's homeless. It may be an undercount, but it's used to determine how much federal funding the city gets. That money now is more important than ever.
We're not going to create any new services or programs from the city standpoint.
That was the message when the city created its new homeless and affordable housing division. Instead of spending more taxpayer money, the city now plans to coordinate the various agencies which help the homeless.
That's a huge, huge piece, and I'm very thankful that the city's stepping up and bringing some leadership into that role.
Kyle Knutson is president of the city's Homeless Issues Partnership. The HIP board will work closely with the new division to find the answers the city needs. He believes the city needs a centralized space for the homeless with services and transportation nearby.
I just think it'd be easier to control. The spot, you have to get a plot of land.
According to Dr. Scott, finding a home for the homeless is easier said than done.
You have that not in my backyard issue. People sometimes show a great deal of resistance to those types of housing developments.
While many support creating a homeless community, Scott says identifying a solution without understanding the problem is the wrong approach.
We haven't been able to determine how well those individual programs would work in Corpus Christi, and part of the reason for that is because we don't yet have a clear picture of the homeless population in Corpus Christi.
Now, some believe taking more than a day for the point in time count would help, but because it's a federal program, that may not be possible. Dr. Scott says her grad students are also working on ways to help get a more accurate count. Lee?
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Now, to see all of our homeless coverage from the past month, all you have to do is go to our website, christv.com.
Well, some college and high school students spent part of their holiday week giving back today. They were at Cole Park this morning holding a cleanup event. It was organized by a Corpus Christi resident who's now attending UT Austin. And she says an environmental project this semester really raised her awareness about ocean pollution, especially the harm plastics can have on marine life.
Well, up in the Big Apple, lots of folks busy tonight putting the finishing touches on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
But the ever-popular balloon floats may not make an appearance. Their fate is literally up in the air.
watching Chris 6 News with Lee Sosley, Katia Udiarte, Alan Harwell, and Dale Nelson. This is Chris 6 News at 6.
Welcome back. Preparations continue now for the 93rd annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
But did you know that there are concerns that one of the parade's star attractions may not make an appearance because of the weather? Jay Gray has the story.
As they began to come to life, nets hold down these giant balloons with growing concern they could stay on the ground. While crowds are watching the inflation, parade officials are watching something they really can't see. The wind.
We just have to wait and see what happens because it could change all the way up to the minute.
Right now, the forecast is for winds at near 23 miles an hour sustained, gusting to more than 34. If they hit those marks, the balloons won't fly. New York police will make the call just before the parade starts to roll.
We have a sergeant that has been trained to these balloons assigned to each one of the balloons. We have anemometers assigned throughout the route.
A route lined by more than 3 million spectators.
I really do. I smile and wave. I get really excited. It's just so fun.
Fun, another 50 million or so will share watching the broadcast around the world. And even if the winds are high, there will still be plenty to see.
We have 26 floats. We have 11 bands, 8,000 marchers. We have different performance groups all across the country coming together.
Coming together to carry on a holiday tradition.
Now get this, the balloons have only been grounded once, and that was due to the wind, and that was in 1971.
Well, regardless of balloons or not, you can watch Macy's Parade right here on Chris TV. Our coverage will begin at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
6 Weather is brought to you by Aztec Chevrolet in Beeville. Visit AztecAutoplex.com. Now, the most accurate weather forecast in South Texas with Chief Meteorologist Dale Nelson.
Here is your Aztec Chevrolet forecast on this Thanksgiving Eve. Lots of clouds in the area today, no sunshine. We had a little rain early this morning with the front, but nothing officially, and it is dry now, and it's been dry during the daytime hours all day long. We do have moisture working this way from the south and east. That's overriding the front that is stalled in the Gulf of Mexico. That's because of the big storm system on the west coast that's pulling it back over us, and that's why it's going to warm up here dramatically tomorrow night, Friday and Saturday ahead of that front. But that moisture is returning, and that'll lead to drizzle or light rain in an overrunning situation that will take place here overnight and during the day tomorrow. You can see the effects of the overrunning with the winds. They're out of the northeast, and they will lighten up. So it's a light overrunning situation. If it was a strong overrunning, we'd have a lot of rain, but because it's only light, we're not going to see a lot of rain with this as the winds gradually turn more easterly during the day tomorrow. So what is overrunning? That's where you generally have cool to cold air at the surface, and that's the ingredients that are necessary to start with. And then you have warm air aloft coming in from the southwest, and that's what we're seeing here now coming in from Mexico. And the result is light rain or showers, cloudy skies, and drizzle. So this is what we're looking at overnight and in the morning, and just gradually tapering off to the clouds because the winds are so light and the pattern is weak. This is the powerful low that's pulling everything back in this direction, and that's why this has happened with this southwesterly flow aloft. Here's the moisture in blue down here on the water vapor imagery, and this low, again, instead of digging south and making a real serious situation, it's going to open up and move into the plain states and not drive south. It's way up to the north as opposed to down here in Texas, so it's not going to be that bad, and our weather is going to improve dramatically here by the weekend. All right, here's the cloud and rain forecast. Then you can see the light showers or drizzle coming in the morning around 5 a.m. and then tapering off at noon, and then not much, maybe a hint of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and temperatures mild in the 70s. By the time that big game at Buck Stadium kicks off around 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, the sun will begin to break out a little bit and temperatures will warm up, but I don't expect any rain for the game. So that is good news. It'll be broadcast right here on Chris 6. 6. Rainfall amounts overnight and in the morning will only be a few hundredths of an inch to maybe a quarter of an inch. Evening forecast has us in the mid-60s now, low 60s by midnight with the light rain developing. 61 at 7 in the morning, 67 at noon, and at 5 p.m. Lots of clouds, a mild Thanksgiving Day with highs tomorrow that reach 73 degrees here. That's about where we should be this time of the year. 68 for George West. NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast. Again, 73 for Thanksgiving 2019, 78 Friday. Then it's going to be 87 Saturday, and we'll see temperatures wonderful behind that next dry front that comes in on Saturday night.
All right. Well, coming